This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade Harrell, keeping you connected to our community. Well, exciting news once more is coming out of the St. Louis Science Center. I am joined today by Bert Vescolani, President and CEO of the St. Louis Science Center. How are you doing today, Bert?
Fantastic.
So we're ready to grow. The Science Center is growing, and the exhibit is called Grow. Bert, tell us more about it.
Yeah, we are growing quite a bit. We've added a whole new acre of exhibits to the Science Center that's both indoors and outdoors, and the focus of this exhibit is really food. It's all about food and agriculture, but, you know, we eat every day and we need to eat every day, and we thought this was a great topic because we're surrounded by farmland and people who are engaged in growing and producing and developing the food that we eat every day. So it's relevant, it's close to us, it's something that we know, and it's been a huge hit.
And I'm sure it will be. It's also very powerful to connect the children to where our food is sourced, how it's made, what it does for us, and how we can help sustain it.
Yeah, there's such a disconnect, I think. People take, when you have food available, you take it for granted a little bit, that you can go to the supermarket and get whatever you want, or the grocery store and get whatever you want. In this case, we want people to learn that whole process, from the seeds that go in the soil and the importance of the soil, all the way through the entire growing process and the biology behind it, the fun aspects of getting your hands dirty and what that's all about, to the production of food. We have a by-state ag map that shows you all the components of how the food comes in, what the processing piece is, how it gets on a truck and shipped out to the next place, and it's all done in this, you know, three-dimensional giant map. So there's things like that that help expose all of the pieces of the process to really make that food sustainable for us and help us understand how to keep that sustainable.
That's right. And something that we should be very aware of with all that's changing and happening in our environment. This is very key to what's going on in our area, actually. You know, when we think about the development and the growth that's happening right here in St. Louis and in around the neighboring miles of the Science Center.
Absolutely. You know, we have, beyond the science and agri-science that's in our region, and of course all of the farms that are so close to us, you know, we reached out to many farmers, many scientists, educators, beekeepers, small farms, large farms, urban and rural farms, organic, non-organic, looked at all of those pieces and brought those people together to let us understand their world a little bit better and start to decipher, if you will, the story, or start to kind of piece together the story that is so important about the connections between science and the food that we eat. And it was a great process of development. We learned a lot. We, of course, couldn't do everything that came up, and we'll be adding new things all the time. So we want to keep it relevant. We want to keep it current, and you'll see things pop up in the exhibit and speakers and opportunities for evening events and things like that that will keep this exhibit grow stronger probably than anything we've built in the past.
Sure, and you guys kept that a pretty good secret, because the next thing I know, I look up and I'm like, well, what is this? I have been curious for a while. Every time I go up and down Oakland Avenue, I'm going, well, what do they have going on there? What's cooking? And there's just so many great things that are important about what you're doing here. Who was a part of the ideation?
Well, you know, it's interesting. It takes a team to develop any of these things, and as I said, the advisors were involved. That when the Explore Dome came down, when we brought that dome down, we saw this available land. We saw the opportunity to connect something to both the indoors and outdoors with the Science Center. So it kind of became a natural connection, almost a no-brainer, that we do something around agriculture. We just didn't know exactly what. If we were going to do more of a farm tech exhibit, or if we were going to do more of a food exhibit. And as we talked with our advisors and met with people in the community and kind of really made this project everyone's project, we settled in on food, because the food is the thing that we all appreciate and know the best, and probably the thing that kids understand the least about unless they live in one of those farm communities that surround us.
That's true. Very true. Well, let's talk about some of the exhibits there as well.
Sure.
So you mentioned the agricultural map, the bi-state ag map. Let's talk about the waterworks.
Yeah, so the Rain Play space that we have is really about how water is used on farms and agriculture, all the pieces of it, from the cleaning to the planting to you name it, water is an essential part. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of available water, not only for use, but we also have it for transport, which is a really important part. So it's a fun, interactive kids space. Each of these exhibits that we build, of over 40 exhibits, have elements that are really kid-friendly and elements that are really adult-friendly. Mm-hmm. And trying to get engagement with both is really important to us. We built this exhibit with that from the original design. And so the Rain Play is a really popular space for the little guys. The Botany Basics is right next to it. It's a sunflower that you can see there that simulates the idea of solar energy and how solar energy is used in plants. It's kind of cool, and it's surrounded by some other areas with pollinators and so on. Farm Tech Field really highlights the technology that's emerging on farms every day, and on the importance of that technology to produce our food. It's a partnership with the National Science Foundation and St. Louis University. Great opportunity. The Animal Corral, kids love animals, adults love animals. So we have a cow that you can milk. Now, this is not a cow that moves. It stays there patiently waiting for you to milk it. Really cool, fun experience. Kids can either milk it by hand or use the electronic milking cups. And then right next to it, we have a corral that will have visiting animals from 4-H kids and FFA and people from the community that can bring their critters out so that people can get a close-up and personal look at these. Homegrown's about backyard farming. Some of us who live in the city are trying to grow our own stuff in our backyard, so we're growing vegetables or peppers or whatever it might be. Fermentation Station is really about all the process, the biology behind beer and wine making, cheese making. That fermentation's got a lot of microbiology, and we wanted to expose people to that. And then lastly, people grow inside, and how does that happen, and what do they do? And that's our greenhouse space that shows not only in a greenhouse how you grow things with sun penetrating, but also the importance of the idea of small spaces with high volume production in buildings or on rooftops or whatever it might be. And then, of course, the last, but certainly not the least, is our pavilion. The Grow Pavilion has indoor exhibits in it. We have a colony of bees in there, safely in a colony. And they're a group of bumblebees that are pollinators that tell the story a little bit more about bumblebees as opposed to honeybees. We have a bi-state ag map, as I told you. We have a game that is an interactive game that allows you to kind of plant and harvest and see all the processes that are involved in that. And so kids and adults have just really engaged this in an exciting way. It's great to hear the dialogue. The chickens have been a huge hit. I forgot about the chickens. How did I forget about those? They have, that's one of the first things you see when you walk in the exhibit. And these are small kind of backyard chickens, if you will, and people just love them. It's just been a real hit.
Man, this is awesome. I mean, what a brilliant idea, and I can't think of just the amount of good this will do for our education, for our children, for our mindset, and most certainly for our region. Very powerful that this is happening. What kinds of programs are you going to have?
Well, we have carts that will be out every day, and the carts are kind of a little bit more intimate look at some parts of the agriculture and food systems. So, for example, we have a rice cart that talks about the Missouri rice production. A whole lot of people don't know that down in the Boot Hill of Missouri, we produce a lot of rice, like the fourth largest in the U.S. So there's things like that. The programmatic pieces for school groups and after-school programs. And in the evenings, we may do some brewfest kind of stuff, teach you how to brew your own beer or make your own teas or pickle your own pickles or whatever you're going to do.
Sauerkraut for me.
Sauerkraut for you, right. So whatever it takes to kind of get people engaged and see what their interest level is. During the harvest in the fall, and when the temperatures cool down a little bit and people are outdoors for longer periods of time, we'll have a series of events and activities to engage people in the unique part of harvest and what harvest kind of festivals are around farm communities all around the United States. So we'll have things coming up and emerging all the time. And, of course, the science behind all of this. The Science Center is about igniting and sustaining lifelong science and technology learning.
Yes.
We want to do that in every content area we have, and we want to have fun doing it. Yeah. And so this exhibit combines the great science that's in our food and agriculture with a whole lot of fun and an engaging way.
So what happened with the Explorer Dome, by the way?
The Explorer Dome is gone. Yes, it's true. Well, two things happened. The good thing about the Explorer Dome going away is it provided the space for this exhibit. Yes. It was a temporary space that lived two lives of temporary. Mm-hmm. We used the fabric and sent the fabric, recycled or reused the fabric, to farmers so that they could wrap their hay and store things outside without it getting damaged.
Look at that!
Yeah, and so that was about the time that we were talking about this exhibit, but really not knowing where we were going to settle in exactly. Mm-hmm. And so it just became a great opportunity to take advantage of that. So not all of it was used, but an awful lot of it was, and we were really happy with that. We had to prepare the site, of course, and get it ready. So there was a lot of work that, if you drove down Oakland, you were seeing a lot of things happening, but really it didn't look like anything was happening. And then all of a sudden, a building went up. Yes. And now it's a building surrounded by a grove of apple and pears and corn and soybeans and you name it, it's growing out. Our blueberries, I will tell you, are some of the best blueberries I've ever had.
Oh, you got to sample.
I did. They didn't tell me officially that I could sample. I just took advantage of it. So it was good. I don't
blame you, Bert. I mean, you put in your time now.
Yeah.
You've been putting in your time. And, of course, the Science Center is always a great place to go and grow personally in many, many, many areas and strengthening STEM in our community and for our children. You're giving so much to our community with the Science Center and this new exhibit and all the thought and effort and detail put into it. What do you need from us in the community?
Well, we just need people to come out and enjoy it. We build these things for the community. These are we find topic areas that are interesting or we think are compelling to our audiences, our guests that walk through the door every day. So, I mean, really, truly, that's what we love to see: the smiles on faces, the level of engagement, the questions that are being asked, the stories that are told, the comments on Twitter and Facebook and so on about how great this experience is for them. And for a whole lot of people, they just don't have that opportunity. And unless you live in a farm community and you get a chance to see how big a combine really is, right. And we've got this big combine in there, just people don't make that connection, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this is it'll be a unique opportunity, and we'll grow into it. To actually use the pun, we're going to grow into it. We're going to get a feel for it, and we hope our community helps us grow it. In that way. So I appreciate that. That's a nice question to ask.
Make sure you all like them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, do all you can to spread the word, but more importantly, get out, experience, and get connected to your food, and let's grow together. This is great. Send out the invitation one more time, would you, Bert, for folks to come out and check out the new exhibit.
Yeah, we'd love you to come out. It's a free exhibit. It's open all day, our normal hours, indoor, outdoor, lots of things to do. We'd love to have everyone come down and experience what it's like to be a little bit of a farmer and understand where your food comes from and have a whole lot of fun doing it.
That's right. I am so glad that you joined me today. Bert Vescolani, President and CEO of the St. Louis Science Center, with the new exhibit Grow, now open for attendance, and you can find out more at slsc.org//grow. All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcasts at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.